everyone, I'm Erin.
I'm Rochelle. Welcome back to their YouTube channel.
We're going to continue our conversation focusing on providers, and this time we want to focus on the theme of mind reading. In fact, no one is a mind reader. We don't think. Let's try a little experiment. On the count of three, I'm going to say the word that you're thinking of, and you're going to say the word that I'm thinking of. 1, 2, 3. Dental floss.
Procrastinate.
I guess we're not mind readers. And we've known each other for a while. So how does this fit into working with interpreters and being the provider who is kind of in control of and managing the encounter with your patient?
So one of the things is that you can expect the interpreter to know all of the information about the patient. This is a huge misnomer, and it's starting to get understood, but it still seems to happen where people assume that the interpreter is part of the patient's inner group, or that the interpreter knows everything about the patient because they're their family or their friend and they have that type of connection because they speak the language. That is not the case. And so when you're working with an interpreter, understand that they don't know the patient's history. They don't know what's going on. That's why the patient's there, so that you can speak to them as if there wasn't a language barrier. One analogy that I like to use is that an interpreter comes into a person's life in a snapshot in time. So if you take a photograph, the interpreter knows about that patient in that moment like a photograph. They'd have no other contextual background, especially depending on the type of interpreting services that you use, the frequency in which the interpreter is or isn't with the patient. But again, a professional interpreter doesn't have personal relationships with the patients that they're working with. Those are your patients. And so they should potentially have more of a personal relationship with you as their working colleague than they will with the patient. So don't expect the interpreter to read the minds of the patient or think, oh, well, they speak the same language, so they just must automatically know what's going on, because that's simply not the case. We're not that cool.
And even when you have worked with somebody for a really long time, like the decade and a half that Rochelle and I have worked together, we still don't have those mind reading skills. So be on the alert and on the lookout, and be a little bit concerned if you are picking up cues or having some very obvious moments where perhaps an interpreter is doing things that only a mind reader would do, or only a mind reader would say, and volunteering information or giving insights that the interpreter maybe thinks would be really helpful. Kind of keep an eye out for those things, and if you see that happening, again, it's your appointment, it's your responsibility in treating the patient and providing the best care possible. So maybe politely and tactfully double check and cross check the information that the interpreter is volunteering, and try to kind of, again, refocus that communication between you and the patient.
Mm-hmm. And going back to previous videos, having that dialogue directly with the patient will help minimize the volunteered information from an interpreter. Most people come into our profession because they want to help, but I have a big issue with that. You as a healthcare provider, you are very helpful, but you're a provider. And interpreters offer a service that is very helpful, but they're professional. You want to kind of be weary and double check if you're getting information directly from the interpreter that you know isn't coming from the patient. An interpreter will know how to redirect that, and again, having eye contact, body language, speaking directly to the patient will help to minimize any mind reading information that might come your way from the interpreter. It's never misintentioned. It truly is an intent to be helpful. It just definitely isn't the scope, because it's your job to help your patient, and an interpreter's job is there to facilitate that communication.
And just to reiterate on a previous video, because no one is a mind reader in the room, there will be questions, there will be clarifications that are needed, and so just to welcome that type of open communication and dialogue, so that all the information is shared transparently and completely, without filters and without guessing.
And one final thing, this is kind of, I think, a sum up of some of our previous videos here, but when you're talking with an interpreter, potentially you run into them prior to walking in and seeing the patient. They've been roomed, they've seen the nurse, and you say, hey, how you doing? That's not the time to try and get the skinny on what's happening with the patient, because the interpreter isn't going to know. It's confidential information, not their job. So again, really understanding that the interpreter is there to be the voice of you and your patient and not have all the contextual background for the individual patient. The patient is an adult, they're there for their own care, and trusting in humanity and everybody's roles as if there wasn't a language barrier is what's really important. So interpreters aren't mind readers. None of us are. We saw Erin and I. Couldn't do it. Ready? Let's try it. On the count of 3, what are you thinking? 1, 2, 3.
So
globe. See? Doesn't happen. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we look forward to talking to you next time.
See you soon.
Bye.